We are live, or so it says. Let me just make sure. Real quick, because I am paranoid. It says, let me just make sure. And there it be. Hello, welcome back to Fableheimr and to the DLC stream event. Of course, hosted by Crafton and MISTOVER. We are continuing our round 2 adventure. And we have unlocked the Frozen Mountains. And I believe, accepted all the requests that we have to do. Do we have access to large food now? We do. Ooh. But we need to use up some of our old supplies because I am overly stocked. But we have a slight predicament. That predicament, of course, that the starting area for the Frozen Mountains is level 13 to 14. Now we could go there. We were a little frisky last time and went to an area above our level, but I'm not going to be that risky today. Because, what is a DLC stream event without DLC? So we're going to farm Dr. Faust's Otherworldly adventure for a little bit, see what we can see, hopefully cheese out some early mountain items, and then move on and smash everything into oblivion. The way it's meant to be done. So here we go, continuing on with our lovely successes and their beautiful golden portraits. You know what? Every time this pops up I say no. Let's see the scenario, shall we? In case you are joining the Successors of Fableheimr for the first time. So Faust appears. This is the first time I've seen your faces around, and we have to explain to Faust how we arrived here. How did we arrive here? Carefully. I knew you all looked unfamiliar. You must have slipped through the cracks, of which there are many in MISTOVER. I'm Dr. Faust. Right now I'm treating this sickly forest. This may seem abrupt, but would you mind leaving this place? From a medical perspective, you outsiders are no different from disease-causing bacteria. You are quite sick. If you continue to stay here, this recovering forest will become diseased again. I'll give you one chance. Please exit the forest immediately. If you don't, I can't guarantee that your life will be spared. You can try, but we've already beaten you a number of times, so I'm not that concerned. Although, we have not been here while being level 12? Wait, I'm giving civic items. Oh no. Do I need to go to the mountains, or do I need to reach level 13? Maybe it's reached level 13. Oh, this is a mimic. I almost didn't know, but it breathed right before I approached it. So my current suspicion is that we need to be level 13 before we get mountain items. So that's a lot of farming. But I farmed for longer. Oh dear. That was a miss. And then he immediately attacked. Ta-da. Revenge. Ooh. Thanks for missing. I appreciate it. That actually might have been enough to, give us our Yoki power back. We are hitting quite hard these days. Because last time, of course, we did quite a bit of alchemical experiments. Please heal me. Thanks. To bolster our weapons to their maximum strength. Masamune wielding the civic kusanagi that we've risked our life to obtain in an area that was above our level at the time. 'Tis no longer, but that is how progression works. And Daragh wielding a civic spiked knuckles that we got quite early on. Through, of course, Dr. Faust's Otherworldly adventure. We got it before we had even stepped foot into the Cursed Town. We also got Rune's civic grand grimoire before even stepping foot in the Cursed Town. Which is why I'm surmising that we need to be level 13 before we can get mountain gear. And it's not that we haven't visited the area. Unfortunately, We are not going to have enough mana for Ruun. There we go. We have exactly enough for one Star Striker. I don't rely on that skill at all. What are you talking about? As I lean heavier into it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. I'm not concerned at all. A change that I think we will make when fighting the upcoming bosses. We will have to, which hopefully we can do today. That is the plan. Ooh, good crit. Hopefully we can, not hopefully, we will give the powerful powers, the stronger rings of power to Daragh, because he is prioritized on single target damage, which of course, bosses are single entities, even though they take up, is it six spaces they take up? They're pretty big. And I'm kind of glad they do, because that means you can bring just about any skill to try and deal with them. Oh look, a round 2 enemy. Place your bets now. Ectoplasm? Or not? Well look, ectoplasm. But we are also seeing enemies from Cursed Town and the Cathedral Ruins, so I guess it's a bit more variety than usual. This stream also has low latency mode enabled, which means hopefully I should be able to respond to anything sooner than usual. If anyone has anything to say. If not, that's fine, I'll just keep talking to myself. That's what I do most of the time anyway. When recording, I have no one but myself to talk to. It's like the Doctor, where he, from Doctor Who, where he's just like, I'm just a man with a box. I'm just a man with a computer. And a microphone in front of me. I have debated, because there has been some, I wouldn't call it scientific, but there has been some statistical analysis, we'll say, of content creators, whether they're Twitch streamers or YouTube, or I'm assuming Mixer, where they get more views on their stuff if there is a camera. Oh, that is a round 2 enemy that's fleeing from us. They get more views with a camera, you know, a little webcam that shows what they're doing, how they're reacting, their facial expressions, how beautiful they are. Or aren't, depending, I suppose. And I've debated using one before. My thing with them is that I think they take away from gameplay. Because I've thought before, where the heck am I going to put this camera? And I have no idea. No matter where you put it, it covers something. And I'm not a fan of that. But I know that people like them, so I mean, if there is request enough for the future, I suppose I'd try to set one up. I do have one, currently collecting dust. Probably underneath the table, actually, if I were to guess where it is right now. Courtesy of my cat, of course. Nothing can remain on my table. Unless it's bolted to my table. That's the only way it sticks around. She even tries to knock off my monitors. What kind of cat goes after monitors? Oh, we found the door. Hello. Ah, Civic Grimoire. If only you were a mountain grimoire. But hopefully, what are the chances that's a real flower? Thin. But we'll follow that hope. It is a real flower. Nice. You can tell if you look over to your left. Actually, I have a mouse now. Yay, mouse features. If you look over to your left, you can see that there are faces lighting up in the little flower thingy. And that's how you can tell that they're fake. They're trying to trick you. And then they have the most ridiculous faces when they do trick you. It's very mean. But I suppose very Faust-like. Nope. Down we go. Hopefully, we're probably not going to reach level 13 by completing just this, but we will try our best. Also Real Flower. I learned that last time. And I've not forgotten the lesson. Are these level 12? Let's find out, shall we? They're level 11. Okay. And I'm still not faster than them. Might have some speed to work on. We probably don't want them to buff. Was that what I clicked on? Feel like it wasn't, but oh well. I was trying to kill the torch, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to where the reticle was. Repent. Oddly enough, that's what the Ronin is doing. Repenting for his sins. Which, I mean, it's just, he went on a murder spree, but that was because his king, ruler, lord, that's the one, killed his entire family and his men. If there was a reason to go on a murder spree, I would say it's a pretty good one. Also, I didn't move back into position, so he won't have Star Striker, but that's fine. We are more than prepared to take on the followers. But I need to keep in mind that I can't let this happen when we go to the Frozen Mountains, because the enemies in the Frozen Mountains are scary. Properly terrifying. Hopefully they don't give us too many troubles. My past relationship with the Frozen Mountains has not been good. That was where our hard playthrough came to an end, because I made the error of leaning all the way in on one mechanic, which was of course my lovely Grim Reaper, and her ability to remove or lower every enemy's hit rate. And I just leaned into that. So when she got wrecked and focused 3 turns in a row by being crit, that was the end of that. Oh look, more Civic Spike Knuckles. There's the trap. See? They're mocking me. The one on the right kind of looks like All Might. But we'll move on. I think this one's fake too. Alright. Let us go fight Dr. Faust. Now, if you weren't here last time, we are not going to be enacting our cheesy strategy, because oh look, you discover Faust, who's concentrating on cultivating the forest. I'll finish that thought in a moment. Oh, because we elected to see this scenario, we're seeing this one as well? That's fine. Might as well go all in, right? Oh, you again. So you're still here. I can't believe you'd ignore my request. I guess you think I'm someone that you can take lightly. In any case, I can't let you bring disease into the forest when I've nearly finished treating it. If I just let you go, you'll spread sickness throughout this forest. I have no choice but to treat you too. This is rather urgent. Let us hurry. All I've done when fighting Faust is hurry. So maybe today will be the day that we actually sit down. Oh, I'm already sitting. That we actually take the time to learn Faust's mechanics. Well, learn might not be the correct word. But learn, see, that's the word. And letter. No, we'll see Faust's mechanics because he does some unique things, unless I feel threatened, which currently I don't. That can change. Oh, I can't Devil's Eye that row. I should kill this. That is the responsible thing to do. Feels like something is approaching. I wonder what. Now normally, I would stun Faust here. That's what I would do. And what I would recommend you do. But because we're attempting to see some things here, what could this be? Chocolate Faust. That is his buff, right? Yep. But the reason we're not cheesing him out by buffing into Oblivion before encountering him is because of Roman Cancel. He'll deal 1% of his attack to all enemies, meaning all of us, and with a 100% chance of stealing a buff. So you can imagine, 3 characters, all with, say, 130% increase attack, suddenly stacking all of that onto the boss. It sounds like a quick way to die, if you ask me. But it looks like we are going to kill him anyway. Maybe we'll let him live at 1 health. And see what there is to see. Because I did mention this earlier, but if you weren't here, his mechanic, which I'm assuming happens when he reaches 4 of these bars, will trigger unique, not animations, but interactions with each member of the expedition. Here it is. So we get to decide which of these lovely 4 cups we select from. You can see they have a twisted medical symbol on them. I don't remember what it's actually called. But, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Mime said to pick the very best one, and you are it. I stunned Faust. Okay. Well, thanks for showing me that, Faust. Time to go. I guess we picked well. And then more monsters appeared. Faust, who has fainted from your relentless attack, suddenly stands upright. I thought I was going to die. Huh? What's going on? You tell Faust about everything you've seen and experienced. So you're saying that I made this place. Well, looks like I've caused trouble. My name is Faust. I'm not originally from here. You don't say. I'm a doctor who travels across different lands. While trying to take care of my own personal matters, I found a clue and accidentally came across this place. I thought coming here might help me solve my problems. I'm not sure what clue would lead you here, but okay. This place is very strange. It defies the laws of nature. Just look at this mist that floats through the air. I attempted to uncover the secrets of this place using magic, but was interrupted by a giant jellyfish-like fellow. Perhaps a giant Orbis brain that we killed last time. My memory gets hazy after that. It's like someone forced their way into my mind and erased my memories. I have no idea who did this, but thanks to you I've returned to my senses. You have my gratitude. My unexpected journey has come to an end. Now that I know there's nothing for me here, I better be on my way. I hope to see you again. I bid you adieu. Well, Faust, whether you like it or not, you will see us again. Because we'll be back. Oh my. Was that like 50? Okay, it tells me. 1444 experience. So, we need to do this about 7 times to level up. I have a better idea. What we're going to do is we're going to go... Wow, I have lots of these. We're going to go to the first area and play cautiously just like last time. That we were in an area over our heads. And then once we reach rank 13, we'll return to Faust's realm and start farming for mountain gear. That sounds better, right? That sounds smart. Oh, that's good to know. Going to the Fissure doesn't change the weekly items. Because it was this before. Well, let's go get Ruun some new gear, shall we? This is a small realm, so we can go ahead and use our food. We use 6 just in case. I'm going to ignore that. We'll bring some potions, and of course our donuts, our ever-reliable donuts. Chocolate does remove bleed, so there's really no reason to buy bandages if you have a ton of that. The assigned crew member's level is too low. Is that a warning? It sure is. What up, Shylock? The Dandy Rabbit, who guided us to the archives last time. Stealthy as a shadow, Shylock appears out of nowhere. And he's been expecting us, it seems. This is where the Elder Ones dwell. That sounds not good. They are as old as the Flying Blobs, from whom they suffered a crushing defeat in the past. The Elder Ones are now hiding here to heal their wounds. You would think if the Flying Blobs beat the Elder Ones, the Flying Blobs would be in the zone after the Elder Ones. Follow the tunnels leading down and you're sure to run into them. I'll find you again in the future. If you have any questions then, I would be happy to help. Thank you, Shylock. You're a dandy rabbit indeed. Now, the frozen mountains. You can see their unique trap is the little tornado-y, whirlwindy thingy. And its unique feature is that it will erase... What? It will erase everything that you've unlocked. Question. Why is this ectoplasm a follower? And why was my icon... Look! Oh, is that because of my mouse? It is because of the mouse. That's funny. Okay. Well, I'm scared. So if you've never seen the opponents that are here before us today, don't worry. I will explain them. They are horrifying by every definition of the word. Specifically, these little albinos. I think I'm going to focus them. We should be able to... Well, we won't because we don't have Yoki yet. But our combined efforts should bring them down to a slaughterable level. The albinos will go ahead and... He's acting like a follower. I'm confused. They'll go ahead and bleed your an entire row. That's the long way. Not the way down. And they can replicate themselves, I believe. Let's find out. Let's look together, because it's been a while. Now, unfortunately, this thing that was going to give me all my Yoki power has been protected, so it won't. You recover, so they can heal themselves. This is the bleed in one row. They can summon... So if they're the final unit remaining, they will summon another version of themselves, and they can branch an enemy. We can remove brands, using our good friend Daragh, but we'd rather not. We missed that one albino up front. Ow. Remember when I said we can remove brands? I forgot to mention one tiny detail about them. And that is that I don't believe... What is going to help us here? I don't believe Daragh can remove brands from himself. Which I know sounds strange. Give one party member, excluding yourself, attack increased buff. Give one party member evade. Remove a brand from one party member. Yeah. So he can't remove it from himself. This one removes all brands from allies and brands himself. That seems great, doesn't it? So we're going to go ahead and block, I think, with Daragh, even though I would love to punch. We do, of course, possess... Oh, look, just refresh the brand. We do possess... That's funny. I think that thing is bugged. Potions, and of course donuts. But it doesn't seem necessary yet. It's funny, blocking is something I don't do very often. So it's something that I frequently forget exists, and is as helpful as it is. Because it is very helpful. You can go ahead and kill that ectoplasm that was not acting like an ectoplasm at all. Gain all 5 Yoki, and we have recovered. All is well. The giant snowmen... Are they called snowmen or yetis? Snowmen, okay. The snowmen don't do a whole lot. They are definitely the least threatening of the enemies that you can encounter here in the frozen mountains. But they're quite durable. That's really their only strength. And this is really going to hurt me. How big is this reflect? It's not telling me. Well, that's fine. Oh, because it wasn't a reflect, it was just a protection. And we killed its protected target. Boom. Right off the bat. An upgrade for Daragh. Daragh's defenses, which is important. Oh, this is a Wop Wop enemy. Now, I don't actually know what they're called. That's why I call them Wop Wop, which is the sound that they make. But that means that they'll take one turn, of not moving, and then they'll move 2 tiles instead of 1. It can be troublesome. So just keep your ears peeled. Especially if you're trying to play this place while listening to music, it can be challenging to tell that they're wop-wop enemies. Like the cue, there is a visual cue, but it is largely audio-based. Now, if I remember correctly, these things have some stun resist. These are the gargoyles. They are even more troublesome than the albinos, I believe, but they don't replicate themselves, so that's nifty. That is a weaken attack. This is in 1 column, but it's not showing the column effect. Applies resistance to bleeding debuff. So it debuffs your resistance to bleeding and bleeds you. Convenient. This is the one that's really annoying for most formations. This will pull an enemy forward, or pull one of your characters forward, which, when we lean so heavily into Star Striker, can really mess things up. And this one is a heal for the gargoyle. So if we're playing intelligently, carefully, we will go ahead and stun. Of course, our witch does not need assistance moving in any position, because she does that plenty herself. But, 73% chance. Let's take it. Beautiful. But being pulled forward is kind of a worst case scenario for the witch. We do have that one thing to offset it. Can't remember what it's called. Wild Magic? Wild Surge? Wild Surge, I got it the second time. That will offset it, but it will take a whole turn to offset it. Which can be troublesome depending on what you're fighting. Good dodge, Hiisi. Oh, we have a slight issue. I think I've rectified the issue. We had very easy kills on the gargoyles, so I was thinking to myself, well, let's just kill the gargoyles. But if the albino is left alone, I think it's a rat. If that is left alone, then it will spawn more, which I already explained, but I kind of forgot myself. So, beautiful. Issue rectified. A mountain Muramasa. I don't see... I thought this was fixed too. This light flower is blocking our path forward, but I'm pretty sure... Nope. That just leads to a dead end. Okay. We have to destroy this to get here. There was a bug a while ago where light flowers would procedurally spawn and blocked the path, and it was fixed. But I have encountered something like that in the Frozen Mountains more than once, so... Who knows? Maybe it's just a Frozen Mountain thing. I think the bug, though, was specifically for when the light flower would spawn and leave no path available. We at least had a path, we just had to destroy something to get to it. I think. We are being very cautious. We are not just enlightening into the fog of war. They saw the tornado kind of like vanished. My thing ran out. Yeah, that was 42% fullness, just gone in an instant. But you notice that the tornado weakened there. I think if you step on it when it is weakened, you don't trigger the trap. But you have to kind of time it yourself, because as you saw, if you move onto it while it's weakened, it will then activate. Because the turn passed already. So it's like the turn before it's going to weaken. You have to count. Which is not always my expertise. Unfortunately. We don't... Oh, I don't have any seeds. That was a mistake. We're keeping our ears peeled then. For the audio cues. We should be stumbling across the flowers soon. There usually are a couple in... Oh, here's the exit. The enemy is here somewhere. Oh, look. Of course, there's a flower right next to where I seeded. But you can see that's a Wop Wop enemy. And you can see that it has like this red aura coming off of it. So, they're a little tricky to figure out. But they're gonna move right here. Boom. Easy. And that's how you deal with the wop wop. If anyone knows what they're actually called, I would love to know. But I'm probably just gonna keep calling wop wop enemies because that's hilarious to me. These enemies might actually be level 13. 14. Oh. So we have to play very safely. So we are going to go ahead and taunt. Try and direct all of the anger to Masamune. Mostly succeeded. Unfortunately, being in that position is not good for me. We're going to go ahead and directly heal Masamune, because he's taunted still. We cannot Star Striker, but they are in perfect position for Chaos Blast, which is what we're going to do. Now, one reason to not... Ooh, this could be really good. Sure. One reason to... I totally lost my train of thought. To not heal... There we go. To not heal the werewolf would be because the werewolf deals more damage at low HP. So you can kind of control that HP to trigger more damage. Ow. That's the kind of crit that killed my Grim Reaper, by the way. We are in limbo. But because we removed the bleed, with tremendous foresight, might I add, we are not in trouble. We will go ahead and continue to try and control these, even though the gargoyle does have a high level of stun resistance. Unfortunately. Try and control these a little bit more. Maybe I should have Devil's Eye instead of Taunt. It's hard to tell sometimes. We are going to go ahead and remove this bleed, even though unfortunately that means we have no amulets up. We're going to keep healing Masamune. He is doing well as a tank, even though he is taking a ton of damage. It's kind of what he's supposed to do, though. We could go ahead and try to kill this, or guarantee the kill on the albino. We'll take the gamble. Gamble paid off. The reason I was okay taking the gamble was because the rat actually goes after our two melee characters, which should be able to deal with both of these. But just in case, that one goes first. Now, of all of our 3 attacks, Strike does have the highest crit chance, which is why I've been using that more than the other ones when I can. I also just like Beast Stroke. It's a good ability. It's hard. Ruun bragging about the fact that she doesn't have to walk. Convenient. Well, we've located the golden chest, but not the golden key. Uh-oh, we're gonna get hit here. What are we looking at? We're gonna do something a little... Actually, they may have the initiative, but they don't... This is fine. I was afraid that they would get to go before Hiisi and cause all sorts of problems, but it's basically the same as it usually is. So we're just gonna fight this. We'll take this fight. We will play it smartly, of course. As smart as possible. Good stun. We should be able to kill that albino this turn. This, by the way, is a prime example of why you always stack speed with your Onmyouji. Always. I'm not sure how much damage the Star Striker is going to do to that. I feel we'll just... Wow, okay. So we might be able to just start working on the gargoyles, but Turned out we're just chunking people now. Branding Louhi is rude, cruel. She's been branded before as a heretic. More of the lore discussion. They actually released a new post for the Shadowblade. I believe it was that, but I haven't read it yet. I was too focused on setting up the stream. You can go ahead and paper turtle. It's not gonna hurt anyone. I mean, it might hurt the turtle, but... Nope. They go after the summoner. That's fair enough. That is the smart thing to do. Let's change that turn order real quick. That is probably the most dangerous thing of going into areas above your level, is that the enemies will tend to have the initiative instead of wop wop. Nope. That was important to discern. Ah, these things. They are fast. The cavemen with a stick. They are the first enemies you encounter that can stealth, so AoE attacks are very helpful against them. They can stun, and they can, just like the rats, spawn more of themselves, if they are the only one left, which can make them challenging when you're fighting 4 or 5 of them. So it's important to remember to try and kill them together. They are, however, more susceptible to stuns than the other stuff we've been fighting. Well, at least the gargoyles. The rats are also susceptible to stun, which is a good way to control things. Map, there it is. It's hiding. It's actually similar to the Shadowblade's hide. Well, maybe not. It gives it speed. Does speed help? Not really. I kind of want to cancel... Oh, right, that's hit. I was going to say, I wanted to cancel the other one's turn, but this is fine. Let's make... Oh yes, move back into that position. What could possibly go wrong? That could go wrong. Which one's moving next? Hello? Doesn't feel like telling me the turn order. Can I? No. Well... if I were paying attention, I probably would know the turn order. It's this one? Yeah. So we want to kill this one. But we can't. So we'll just carry on. Keep calm and carry on. Well, I guess we can kill it. Which I shouldn't have done. But here we are. We're gonna kill it. We should be able to kill this one. We have 2 shots. That's easy. Hiisi, of course, has a very good weapon equipped, even though that's not really what we're using him for. It's still nice to have some reliable damage from him. Silver chest here. And the keys. We found them. And there is the beginning. You can see one of the enemies has already respawned. This is not a mimic. I don't actually remember if there are mimics here. There might be. That is another dead end. There are a record number of dead ends in the Frozen Mountains. If you thought... Ears peeled. Where's the flower? Down there. Well, ears weren't peeled. But for all the enemies that it could have been, this is kind of okay. We can still... Oof. We can still heal from this position. Oh. We'll just take a minute to stitch our wounds, as it were. I'm not quite sure why that enemy didn't move. That's just, there's another one coming. Is it a round 2 enemy? Well, this one's not. Alright, we're actually in position and prepared for this one. Escaping battles, very helpful. I haven't done it very often, but when I need to do it, I kind of need to do it. It's one reason why it's valuable to get rid of... I need to move my mouse. Get rid of negative jinxes that reduce escape chance. I'm not a huge fan of stacking them to increase escape chance, but at least don't have any negative ones. It's not the best idea. We could have Last Prayer Daragh instead, to kind of slowly heal him over time and ensure that he wouldn't get one-shot. That would have kept his damage higher, but I kind of like playing safe. Kind of a good idea. Especially when you're playing with the hard combat settings, like we are. There we go. 1 down. 2 to go. I don't believe these things will summon more of themselves. We can go ahead and check. Guardian, Stomp. Yep, they will not. Good. These things in the gargoyles, I think, are the only enemies here that don't. Should be able to amulet shot this to death. Beautiful. Now there is the other enemy over here, which we can't see. Oh, there's one here. We are pretty close to the flower, but who knows if we can make a break for it without getting threat. Remember to always bring seeds. Wow, 2 stun resists. Ugh. That is not good. Brand on Hiisi. Hiisi might be summoning... Ow. Summoning a turtle. Oof. Taking lots of damage here. So we'll go ahead and try to control these with Louhi. How big are these bleeds? We need 7. Oh, she's the only one bleeding. Okay. We'll go ahead and overflowing then, because we have quite a few people to heal up. I think we're going to whip out the consumables. We're going to head and donate that, because I think, and by I think, I mean I'm going to, Bloodkin Power Hiisi, which is bizarre, because he doesn't benefit that much from it. But we'll keep debuffing to try and make them irrelevant. And we are going to turtle here. Add more targets on the field to attack. Well. We're going to go ahead and once again, overflowing. Good, 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 good. Situation under control. Thank you for moving her back into position. I appreciate it. So her health is fine. This is about to get real good. We'll set that up, and we're going to make a big boom. I like how you can bleed paper turtles. It doesn't make any sense, but... There we go. Full health. How wonderful. We do also have a donut ticking away on Louhi to make sure that we do not lose our precious sister. That's because it would be challenging to make one just as powerful. She has everything you could ever want from a sister. More damage. But we should be fine here. I'm actually going to begin recovering mana because I thought I saw an enemy around the corner. I should have healed maybe, but I'm going to kill that. Don't regret it. Never punished. How much is this? A kill. That's how much it is. Alright. Ears open. Polluted seed. Better than no seed. It is a Vwop Vwop enemy. And there is a non-Vwop Vwop. They're both Vwop Vwop. Aw. Thought that would prevent it from Vwop Vwopping our way. That's a round 2 enemy. You might be wondering, what's the importance of that being a round 2 enemy? Well, round 2 enemies will aggro everything around them to try and kill you. Because they're just mean. They won't attack you themselves, however. So, there we go. They're beautiful. Gear 4 Ruun. We have completed our quest. But unfortunately... Can this attack me if I'm actually next to it? I think so. So we're gonna have to kill this, which is unideal. What we could have done is we could cross our fingers and teleport with Ruun, because that would freeze all enemies for 4 turns. Wow. That's not good. Freeze all enemies for 4 turns. But I can teleport you anywhere in the map. Which means we could be near the end, we could be near the beginning, we could be thrown into even more of a mess than we're already in, which is maybe questionable at this point. But Daragh is going to need big heals. Oof. My concern with Hiisi is that I needs a strong word. I would like to buff, but I cannot. But we should be okay. There we go. We're fine. So we'll go ahead and purify. We might be able to enlighten straight to the exit, because I think that pauses enemy movement when you touch it. Make sure our tank is nice and healthy. We cannot amulet any. We might... Oof. Now we can amulet one. I should probably... Well... I should probably remove that bleed, but... too aggro for that. Now I have to remove that bleed. That's a 400 bleed. We're gonna go ahead and block here, because we have some health I would like to recover. Alright. Well. Ruun, please. We were actually guarding that, so... That's fine. Okay, we see one of the enemies. Let us see if we can do this. We got it. Now this is attacking us because we were stunned for 1 turn, but we should be able to mental amulet and flee like we did last time. Beautiful. Everything has come together. Unless I fail all 3 times. But we're fine. Boom. Peace. And there is the level 13. So we aren't going to go back to say hi to Dr. Faust. See if we can get any good mountain pieces before we continue our venture through the frozen mountains. But let's turn this in first. Hello, hello. Well, we found a lot of very annoying enemies. And, frozen. Mountains. You tell Stella what you saw on the frozen mountains, and what Shylock explained to you. Oh, about the Elder Ones. I was like, what did he say? In other words, that land is controlled of the Elder Ones. Yep. We're going to descend underground through the cave. It's only a matter of time until we meet them. I'm actually surprised we didn't already. We should think carefully about how we'll react when we encounter the Great Ones. Aggressively, hopefully. This is to find them, right? Yep. We need to go find the Elder Ones so that we can be prepared. When they attack us. Not fuse. Evaluate. Do we want this? We want this. For sure. Stun speciality. Actually useful at the moment. Let's go see what we are currently wearing. That's pretty good. The silence resist is wasted. And this is more damage. But 27 hits. Kinda hard to say no to that. As for Daragh, we have this, which is just an improvement all around. And what else? That was it, right? We got a mountain blade for Masamune, but his is significantly better. We probably won't find a replacement for this until we get to the Sleeping Lake. We have a mountain thing, which is a wee bit better. We lose attack max and some guard. It's so tinily better. But still better? We'll hold off. We'll hold off. Mountain unstunning. Oh, we do have an agile to give to Hiisi. You can see Hiisi's item is very good. We didn't even identify it. We just knew it was good. 4 hits. This makes it even more challenging if we're trying to use him to one-shot. Well, finish someone off. Do we have another agile? We do. -5 hit. Oh. For the same speed? Really? No thank you. We could, of course, offset that. Let's take a look at what it is first. Oh wait, didn't I use all my essences? I mean, we can remedy that. We have tons of civic stuff I don't want. Like this. Oh yeah, my storage is full. I forgot about that minor detail. Sorry, Olivia. I promise I know what I'm trying to click. Promise. I do. I'm just trying to do it too quickly. Because this is, shall we say, the less exciting part of the game. Inventory management. The bane of all content creators. This is basically worthless for us now. We might as well sell these as well because we have the chocolates. The never expiring chocolate. Makes me wonder what sort of preservative they use. And we're going to get rid of most of the forest gear. Now, I do recommend keeping these if you, 1, are not in round 2, 2, plan on making new characters. Some people like to run multiple groups, which, all power to you, man, if you enjoy running multiple groups. But, I do not if it's not necessary, mostly because of my nightmares from Darkest Dungeon, where running multiple groups is a requirement. We have so much armor. What the heck? But of course, if you do start a new group, or, you know, recruit someone at level 1, you will need this forest gear to give them because of level requirements. Divines require level 5, Civic requires level 9, Mountain requires level 13, so we actually leveled up just in time. That at least can be used for fusion. Alright, We have some items, so let's return to the alchemy workshop. Usually one of the things to break down, one of the first things to break down are, of course, these accessories, because some of them are not so good. Some of them. I want that. Okay. Let's see. We should evaluate this first. Because this could be really good. Could. I have no mist. Never mind. It's not very good. But we do have a... It's kind of a waste to do this, but I mean, I'm not going to use this for anything else. We'll just throw some of our older stuff into it. Offset the hit penalty. And then give it to Hiisi. And move on with our lives. It can be hard to increase something's hit because it doesn't scale very well on this. But, you know. Like this is 3 hit, but we would much, much rather use that on something that you're trying to get the damage from, like a Ring of Power or another weapon. Alright. So we'll give this to Hiisi and move on. Boom. Alright. Let's go say hi to Faust once more. Depending on how many times we go kill Faust, we might not be able to finish the entirety of the Frozen Mountains today. Bring a seed. Lesson learned. Bring the chocolates and the donuts. And I think that's it. I don't think we need potions here. We are very experienced fighting in the Otherworldly adventure. That's a real flower. Spawning on a real flower. What a joyous occasion. Now everything here should be scaled to level 13 for the first time. So we do want to tread with some caution. But of course these are level 12. Maybe it scales to 1 level below you. That would kind of make sense. Because things here don't scale quite as intensely as normal monsters do. Which I think is to encourage some swift farming. I guess I'll go that. Alright, that was a lot of damage from Flash Slash. Which I'm impressed I said correctly the first time. I normally stumble all over that one. It was a cunning translation. If you didn't know, Krafton is a South Korean gaming company, so this game was made in South Korea. So they had to localize from Korean, which has sometimes resulted in some curiosities. But most of the curiosities have been resolved. We're not going to do anything here. We want to replenish our Yoki. Like that. A mimic. What a shock. And more followers. These things are level 12, it looks like, from their HP. Yep. That's usually how you can tell at first glance. Do we just go all in? Yeah, they're followers. What are they gonna do? And before I jinx myself. But I think we got it. We have so much experience killing followers, I can do it in my sleep. Which I'm actually not asleep this time. Can I vent for a moment? I mean, of course I can. I'm the only one talking. I can say whatever. Well, that's not true. But, last stream, I was incredibly exhausted. I'd been awake for like 23 hours before I started streaming or something insane. And, I'm not sure if this is why, but someone disliked the stream, or the video, the VOD of it, which is fine. You're free to like or dislike any video that you so desire. But before I say this, disliking can be very useful for content creators, because if there's more dislikes than usual, it sometimes means you have to do a little bit of introspection. Like, what was different, what was wrong, or what did people dislike? Wrong maybe not be the correct word. But, you know, it forces some introspection, which we could all use from time to time. And because I'm a smaller channel, very small, I was kind of curious, like, well, what did this person dislike about it? And so my mind was spinning with constant ideas. But, and I had a few, most of them related to me being absolutely bonkers tired. But, I always kind of laugh when I see that, because the trick's kind of on you, on the person that disliked, because usually when you dislike a video, what the heck was that? It's because you dislike something about it. That is a large donut. That is not a donut. Those are donuts. I was gonna say that are donuts. Usually when someone dislikes a video, it's because they dislike something about it, which is fair. You can't appeal to everyone all the time. It's literally impossible. But YouTube, the algorithm, doesn't really care. It only considers dislikes as interactions. So dislike a video is almost the same thing as liking a video, as far as YouTube is concerned. So there are people out there who will follow content creators, or, you know, if they see their video, their goal in life is to just downvote everything they ever do. Which can be, of course, scary, and sometimes can ward off potential viewers, but at the same time it's like, well, you're using all this time to dislike someone's video that you dislike, and it's helping them. It's kind of funny. And I just wanted to vent about that for a second. And while I'm on the note of YouTube, their algorithm is a little different. So if you do want to know how to support your favorite content creators on YouTube, or non-financially, most people have a way that you can support them financially, either through joining the join button that I don't have unlocked yet, or, you know, subscribing to them on Twitch for some people, or Patreon, or whatever method they use. If you want to support them non-financially, one of the best ways is to increase your watch time. Because YouTube takes that very, very seriously. It used to be, you know, how many clicks could you get? And interactions have always been kind of highly valued. But these days, from what I understand, I don't have any insider knowledge or anything, but from what I understand, the amount of time people spend watching your videos is what YouTube decides for the algorithm. Oh, people watch this for X amount of time, so it must be interesting, or, you know, something that holds people's attention. And if it's not watched for a long period of time, well, YouTube's like, well, people aren't watching this horribly long, so it must not be interesting, so we're not going to promote it as much. So if you feel like supporting someone... What? Oh, my mouse is here, that's why. If you feel like supporting someone non-financially as best you can, then it is to just leave their video running. Like, you can mute it. It really doesn't matter as long as it's just running in the background. And that's how you can help people. We did it. Game 1. Boom. And of course, interactions like leaving comments or liking or disliking the video are still good ways to get YouTube to notice you. Well, your videos. Anyway. In case you're curious, that's my little rant about the YouTube algorithm. I feel like every content creator has that rant eventually. I just got it a little early. Of course, I've been watching YouTube forever, so to understand that, I kind of just congregated all the knowledge that I have from other content creators and shoved it all together into that one opinion. Which, if it's incorrect, please let me know. It's just, that's my understanding of the whole situation. No stunning, because we're gonna heal. You would think I would have adapted to the taunt and brand changes by now, which is that each attack will take away 1 stack of brand or taunt, but I haven't. That was done a while ago, but I still haven't adapted to it. Because it used to be that the brand and or taunt would last for 3 turns no matter what. No matter how many times you were hit, no matter how many times someone ignored you, just 3 turns. Get rid of that crap real quick. No ectoplasm shenanigans allowed here. Maybe that one disliker didn't like that I made the I'm shocked joke every single time that I saw an ectoplasm. Redundancy can be a little annoying. Well, that chest is blocking access to the key, so we'll go this way. Now, if it's a mimic, we can get through. And it is a mimic. Okay. Of course. Otherwise, we'd be blocked and have to go around anyway. But because it's a mimic, we'll kill it. And the way will be unblocked. Magically. This way is blocked and the dead keep it. The yet to be dead. Soon to be dead. Do we know if the little pony got away safely from that in Lord of the Rings? Because when they're approaching... Well, those are 2 different scenes, right? When they're approaching the Mines of Moria, the little pony that the hobbits were riding is sent free. Saying there's no place... Was it named Bill? No place for the pony. But, and I have no idea if it survived or not. Does it just frolic on its own until the end of time? I like to think so. Of course, the quote comes from when they're facing down the undead mountain. The Oathbreakers, that's what they were. And Aragorn was such a good guy to release them from their oath. Or their curse, rather. Wow, there was guarding twice. I should have seen that coming, but for some reason I didn't. Alright, add to the list of tentacle kills. You're like a flower. This is another mimic. Many mimics. Many mimics mimicking. Is there a word for treasure chest that starts with an M? I can't think of one. That doesn't mean there isn't, of course. I have a terrible curse of words just occasionally escaping from my mind. There is a term for that, but I don't remember what it's called. Which kind of proves my point. But that's just me not remembering the word. The term I'm thinking for is a term for a medical condition where you're thinking about something, you have a single train of thought. Maybe not single, but you have a train of thought, and then it just is gone. I've had some medicines induce that before, and it is the most absolutely infuriating thing on the face of the planet. Especially for someone who likes to write, or for someone who records himself talking to himself. Ooh, if I had that right now, I think I would be incredibly demoralized sometimes. Thankfully, I just have the part where I forget words, which is frustrating, but not quite as frustrating as them disappearing from your mind. It was a migraine medicine that did that to me, but I think it's also an anti-epileptic medication. I think it starts with a T. Hey, look, a real flower. Ooh, a flower. Ooh, a piece of candy. Back to the beginning. Some mountain iron knuckles. That might be better than what we're currently wearing. Of course, it probably has less hit rating, which is not something you want to see on a werewolf. Fake flower. Alright. It's time to fight Dr. Faust once more. We are prepared. This will be the first time fighting Dr. Faust at level 12, or whatever he is. Level 12. So, we need to take that into account. We'll go ahead and mental first. The cautious thing to do. And I'm going to make sure that I destroy... Well, she's moved out of position. That I kill the torch. We're going to kind of ignore the executioner for now. Just let him hang out in the corner. Like the bad boy that he is. That was a thing. It feels like something is approaching you. Can I kill this? Nope. I missed. The Ego Strike, which is a funny name for something, reduces resistance to weakens. All weakens, I believe. So if that's something you enjoy, I would recommend bringing Ego Strike. Well, it's a good thing. Ooh. It's a good thing that didn't hit one of my characters. Oh look, in her random whimsical jinx, moved her back. It looks like we are going to see the cups once more, because we didn't just burst him down this time. We're being a little responsible. Just a wee bit. I think you have stun resistance? Nope, we got it. Maybe we won't see it. Although 2000 HP is a lot of HP to chunk through. Oh look, new monsters. Is that the stun? Dear. That's why I wanted to kill the torch right away. Let us be responsible here. And bump ourselves up within the turn order. We're not going to be able to take down Faust. So he's going to get his little cups off. We'll just, well, try to stun that. No success. That is, of course, the minion that can protect. Simulating Fists of Annihilation. You know the drill. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch the tiger. I was using the syllable. By the toe, if he hollers, let him go. My mother, syllable again, said to pick the very best one, and you are not it. Oh, here it is. It missed, but that was the unique animation for, or at least unique interaction with the Ronin. I do have battle on 3x speed, so it was kind of hard to catch. But there it is. And hello. That is a good weapon. Ooh. You love to see it. Very little XP again, but... Well, hello, Shylock. You're curious about many things, aren't you? I sure am. A great many things. I can tell you anything as long as I have it in my records. Of course, if you find more records, I can give you even more information. I called this the doorway to making more DLC. Which, still an open invitation. I'll take more DLC. Oh, okay, that's all I had to say this time. That's fair. We haven't exactly been progressing that much. We've just been fighting Faust a lot. Like, non-stop. Oh, yeah, of course. So, let's go evaluate our cross. Weaken speciality and stun speciality. One of those is a complete waste of a stat. The other one, pretty useful. Evade 14. Sign me up. This one's better. Stun speciality, yes. We're gonna tentacle all the things. I'm excited. I don't think the witchy dress is any good. I had a belch. I don't... At one point in time, actually, I had a keybind. Where is she? She's here. A keybind that would mute my microphone the moment I pressed it. And you think that's really convenient, and it is. In case you have to, like, obnoxiously belch or blow your nose or something that's really annoying to listen to. And I got a new keyboard recently. I love the keyboard. It's great. Sometimes I think you can hear it, but it doesn't have... It's my first tournament keyboard. And for tournament keyboards, we're going back to Stay Fast. I want more stuff. I want more free items. Tournament keyboards, they take off the numpad. I don't need 5 of these. Which, for most people, is probably not that big of a deal. This is 200 HP every turn. Sounds good to me. For most people, it's probably not that big of a deal. But I love... Whenever I input numbers, I always use the keypad. And I frequently use the Windows Alt key codes for basically any accent. Frequently the umlauts. Those are the double dots above something. I use that a lot. But more than most people using a QWERTY keyboard. At one point in time, I was tempted to pick up a Finnish keyboard. That would have made me really happy. I never did, though. They're a little different, because they have the umlauted A and O already on the board. Which scrunches things a little bit, but still fun. This might be the last time we fight Faust for a little bit. Because I do want to make some progress in the Frozen Mountains. So close to a kill. Which of course we can't do here. This was a round 2 enemy, so we are seeing some things from other areas, thankfully. That seems to only be a thing in the Otherworldly adventure. And I'm not entirely sure why. Otherwise, it's just... I'm not bleeding, am I? No. Otherwise, the only thing we find are ectoplasms. And I comment on it every time. Well, that is unfortunate. Whenever an enemy guards, it's always annoying, but it's worse for the Ronin because he will not get any of his Yoki back when he attacks a guarded target. So it can be very expensive to do that. Hello, come to me. Of course, the Grim Reaper has her own way to replenish her unique resource. Souls, right? That would make sense. There are actually... A good strategy for the Reaper is to kind of not attack if you don't have souls and just use the soul regeneration ability, because that also gives you speed. So that can be very helpful. Speaking of speed, let's speed up. Good kill. I've noticed that Star Bullet either kills something or misses most of the time. There's usually no in between. I'm glad I didn't enlighten. I saw a straight line and I'm like, boom, I know what to do. But in the back of my mind was like, wait a minute. There's an enemy waiting there for you. I can sense it. I can feel your anger. It gives you focus. I'm not sure what's up with those Star Wars quotes recently. I haven't watched or played Star Wars in a long time. At one point in time, I was toying with the idea of playing the original KOTOR on stream. But, because I got it for like $5, which if you can buy one of the best one of the best RPG games for $5, it's something you kind of just do. problem is that the Steam port has this bug where every time you enter a cutscene, of which there are quite a few, and there are some very brief interactions that count as cutscenes, whenever you enter one of those, your game will lock up. And you have to reload. Well, not lock up, but your character won't be able to move. You'll just be stuck. And it was whichever character that you were playing at the time. So you can theoretically use it to lock up your follower and not actually your Jedi, Sith, whatever you are. But that's still not very good. So you have to reload the save file every time that happens. Every time you enter a cutscene. And I'm like, you know what? How about no? I'll just fondly remember my great times being an evil Sith and not deal with this. That sounds like the ideal situation. But I applaud the community out there that has kept that, well, I don't want to say kept the game alive, but there's a community out there that has modded everything about it. Anything you could think about has been modded. They've even dug into the game and added deleted stuff. Well, stuff that was perhaps never finished or removed for one reason or another. Yep, they found that stuff. How? Not entirely sure. But they did it. And you have my applause. Respect. That's what it is, my respect. They've done that for a lot of games. There's an incredible modding community out there. One of them is a game that's often compared to MISTOVER, which is Darkest Dungeon, which came, of course, before MISTOVER. Some people in the Steam reviews are saying MISTOVER was a ripoff of Darkest Dungeon, but it doesn't feel much of anything like Darkest Dungeon. So that's one that's always bizarre, always confused me a little bit. I mean, if it feels like anything, it feels like Etrian Odyssey, mixed with maybe Chronicle Radia or whatever that's called. It's been a while since I played it. But I know, those are slightly more niche games than Darkest Dungeon. But Darkest Dungeon, the modders have done just an incredible job with everything you can think of. More content, more characters, alterations to how things function. They've done it all. And my favorite game, well, one of my favorite games, Dragon Age Online, not Online, Origins. I thought the O stood for Online for a second, like it so frequently does. But Dragon Age has a remarkable modding community. They have done so much to that game. There's like an HD overhaul. Character, like, aesthetics have been changed. They even added in some moments where the story kind of like flushes out something that it ignored. Like the biggest one, and something I've always disliked, was that if you play as the human, the noble human, someone betrays you. I'd say spoiler, but this is like, what, 17 years old or something? You're betrayed, and your father is killed, and the lands that you are the noble of are taken from you. And when you later encounter this guy near the end of the game, in the final act, there's not much of a redemption. There's just like an additional dialogue option. It's like, yo, you suck, I'm gonna kill you. And you kill him. There's no like epic revenge climax for you. Which sucked. I thought there was gonna be one. But there are people that went in and thought the same and made it. And hello. That's an upgrade for Daragh. So again, modders have my utmost respect for what they do. And I appreciate them greatly. That might have, well, that Grimoire wasn't the best. Neither of these are mimics? Wow. What a shock. Whoops. A secret tome. This is a mimic. That's what I was expecting. Ooh, a weak mimic. You love to see weak mimics. Well, just weak enemies. Enemies that will fall before your sword, like cutting butter. Like that. We did learn last time that the reason the followers cover their face is because they used to be humans. And at the time, I said, I don't think I knew this, but as I was, you know, doing my thing after the stream, I was like, maybe I did know this. But they used to be humans, but they began worshipping a god that they believed controlled the world, the universe, whatever. And they began committing atrocious deeds, destroying world after world. And as they continued to do that, they began to look more and more like monsters. And so, they cover their face because they don't like what they've become. Of course, they still continue to destroy world after world in pursuit of this god's desire, but they just don't like what they look like. Which is fair. If I were a blue fish human thing, I'd be a little upset about my appearance too. Beautiful. Smacked up. They have revealed most of the unique interactions with characters with Faust, but maybe we'll get to see the witches today. I'm trying to think if I've seen that one. Oh, I went through that quickly, but Mountain General Armor. That is a big upgrade. Oh, it's a huge upgrade, like double the HP. And many times more the evasion. Good. That's what we came here for. Alright, let's pray to RNG a little bit. Beautiful. A mountain Kusanagi. That's still not better. Can you go through the door? No. Wonderful. But you can go through the exit. Which might be a little troublesome. But we'll deal with it when we get to it. Alright, Faust, we're back. It's a nice scalpel you have, as always. Probably gonna see one of your interactions today, because I'm doing literally no damage to you. We'll just go ahead and stun him because we didn't get to do any damage. Well, we did a little damage. Tiny bit. I don't appreciate being moved. Guess we'll just kill that. We are definitely going to get to see the interaction. I'm actually curious. So he can be stunned. It's currently really high because he has stun resist. And weakened, of which he also has that. Moved and bled. He just can't be silenced. Which I guess is fair. I've never seen anyone silence anything. Except for enemies when, you know, re-thrust. And I'm going to move back into position here. Because I'm a little afraid of the respawning enemies that are on their way. See, if Daragh had the rings of power that Ruun has, things might be a little different. I'm gonna turtle. He's getting close to doing his cup thing. So if we mess up, go ahead and last prayer. Why not? Preemptive defensive stuff. Alright. Eenie. Meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mother said to pick the very best one, and you are it. It's funny because when I was a kid, which I still kind of am. Oh, there we are. Oh, it's the Ronin again. Ronin was hit by the stimulating fist of annihilation one time. He was, well, okay. He was targeted last time, but he wasn't hit. It didn't connect. Also, he moved. Do we just go in and attack him? That seems very frisky. Is that supposed to be the Naruto Kakashi thing? The, what is it called? 1,000 Years of Pain thing, where he sticks his fingers right into his butt. That's what that reminds me of. Which, of course, can be an actual medical procedure if you are a male. So maybe it is. And goodbye. I would like to see that hit someone else, but anyway. Ooh, epic steel skin. Yep. We are in a little bit of trouble here. We have to kill this one, and then we can flee from the other one and get out of here. But anyway, when I was a kid, when I was younger, doing the eeny, meeny, miny, moe thing, it was funny because you could always extend it, wow, by just throwing in random words to a point that you wanted it to be. So, like, my mother said to pick the very best one, and you are not what she wanted. And it was funny. My sense of humor is a little off sometimes, but hopefully you can see the hilarity in that as well. I mean, we could just kill these things. We're just gonna run. Alright, peace. 5K. You know what we are gonna do, though, before we head out? Besides evaluate a few things. We are going to finally bring this to rank 5. Beautiful. Because this is the one that we use if we cannot Star Striker. And then we have 12 points left over. Yep. I might as well level Papal Crow. Oh, no, you know what we should use our points on? Maybe we can use it on both. But Amulet Shot. We've been using this so far more frequently than I thought we would. So I might as well level it up and give it hit rate. That means it hits more. Convenient, I know. With Louhi, we can probably upgrade her this thing as well. Even though I've used this once. Once. I also want this. Protect party members with a shield that blocks damage. This could be really good. Was that changed? I think that was changed. Let's see if we can get that. Yep. Well, she has both of the things I want. Convenience. No paladin. Unfortunately. We don't have Swallow's counter either, do we? We have all those. No Grim Reaper and no Shadow Blade. Okay. Now, do we want his prayer or Suspicious Love? Suspicious Love. This is something we can use all the time. But I want Suspicious Love. Or his protection. I want Suspicious Love eventually because. What? This is what I'm equipping it over? Yes. I want Suspicious Love that just in case we get knocked forward. So I had to continue my train of thought there. Just in case we get knocked forward again, which happens more than I would like. We can still use a single target heal. One that's actually stronger than our default one. It's 260 at level 1, which is pretty bonkers. What was the point of leveling this up? I wasn't even watching. I mean, it costs less mana. It has higher hit and crit, but can it even crit? What would it do if it crits? Don't know. Wicked Blade. Oh, this is that thing that scales with your HP the lower it is. That could be good. We're gonna pick up Swallow's counter. This is a damage reflection buff, which we might actually use because it gives you crit as well. Crit and a damage reflect. And because we're taunting all the time, might be good. Alchemy Workshop. There we go. I was going to get there. So we have 3, and we can exactly identify this, bleeding resist, and stun speciality. Well, one of those is good. This Kusanagi is almost as good as our current one. Bleeding resist, okay. I'll take it. The more defense we have, the better off we're going to be. I think the werewolf should have a stun. Yeah, look at that. Going from 9 evade to 32. From 243 HP to 453. So that weapon has more attack, less hit, less crit, and of course no HP and no evade. Like I said earlier, or like I said at the end of last episode, that Civic Kusanagi is probably going to be good for a long time yet to come. Okay, back to the Frozen Mountains. The tiny map. Bring the seeds this time. Don't forget them. We now have access to large donuts. Donuts. Something that I read on Twitter once, which of course makes it absolutely true. Oh, I can just talk about it in a second. You stumble across severed bodies inside the cave. Some bodies have missing limbs, and others have simply vanished. You see only clothes and gear spread across the ground. Hello, Hans. We meet once more. You turn around and see Hans. Are you confused? I'm confused too. You tell Hans about the request, and his expression reveals that he knows what you're talking about. He's going to give us an idea of what happened. Sounds good. Not far from here, I ran into the Elder Ones and had to engage in battle. And when I cut one open, I found this. Hans shows you a fragment of what appears to be human bone. Oh, I'm pretty sure that belongs to one of these corpses. They ate them. The Elder Ones attacked these humans and devoured them whole. Although it's just a guess, if I'm not mistaken, we'll find more human bodies inside the Elder Ones. We need to hunt down any that are still roaming around this area and cut them open too. Okay, back to Biology 101. But something I read on Twitter, it was a while ago, but because it was on Twitter, it's absolutely 100% factual. It's not true. I was being sarcastic. But one thing that all civilizations have in common, well, there are 2 things. One of them are swords. Sharp, pointy sticks. Every civilization that has ever existed has always created sharp, pointy sticks. For defense, I guess. But the other thing that they always have in common, assuming they were advanced enough, are donut materials, like fried... What are they even? Batter? Fried dough. That's it. Every civilization. The Chinese, the West, basically, the collective West. Some way, shape, or form, they've always had fried dough as soon as they can make it. That's the thing that has been shared. And that's, I saw the donuts and was reminded of that for some reason. So that's for 3 turns. That could be incredibly helpful against some incredibly annoying pending enemies. We attack whatever has lower health. Beautiful. Owie, bleeding. Owie. Leave me alone. Thank you. They have branded 3 targets. Who shall they attack? The world may never know. I equipped the weapon, right? Yeah, that was last time, okay. Just because I'm awake this time doesn't mean that my memory is going to be any better. Let me just make sure real quick. I sure did. It's a beautiful weapon. Imagine if I got that for one of our combatants. Although I'd be a little more irritated about the stun speciality. Unless it was for Ruun. Because zero gravity is something we use when we're trying to be serious. And not just waltzing through, going boom. enemies go boom. Such a good ability. And that's not that great. There's, of course, an argument to be made for guard. I believe it increases the damage you take when you are guarding. Makes sense, doesn't it? Which, there are a few characters that like to guard, such as the Paladin and the Ronin. But, I don't use the Paladin. And I don't use the Ronin that way. Come to me, wop wop. But, for example, if we open up with Bloodthirsty Sword, apply Taunt to ourselves, or the other one that we have now, but I don't remember what it's called. And then next turn, we do the damage reflect, and then we reflect. That could be some good damage. Could. Or it could just be a lot of turns wasted where you're not dealing damage. Showdown, that's what it's called. But we use the Ronin in a bit more of a support, an offensive support capacity. Bloodthirsty Sword deals damage, Strike deals damage, Devil's Eye kinda deals damage, but it reduces everyone's hit, so we're less likely to be attacked, which is nice. And Strike also applies Brand for Daragh to give a good old punch. Although it is much more challenging these days to utilize that, because 3 attacks from anyone will remove the brand. And we don't always have the perfect order for that. Which would of course be Masamune going 1 or 2 turns before Daragh. That doesn't happen very often. It would happen more if we had lined up their speeds a bit more, but... meh. I usually only give speed items that are pure speed items to Hiisi. That's usually my goal. I need to go touch that flower. This is a Mimic too, anyway. Touch! Now I ate some food, ooh, and was reminded of a topic, which is jinxes. We did go ahead and gamble last time, when I was waiting for people to show up, if they were going to. And we rerolled a bunch of jinxes to try and get better jinxes, at least more useful jinxes. And we don't have too many of these, but there are a class of jinxes that activate based on your fullness. They do negative or positive things based on how high your fullness is. And usually I go away with those because I don't like them that much. But there is one class that you can't get rid of it. And that is, of course, the Shadowblade's innate jinx, which is it Afraid of the Dark? Weak in the Dark? Where when you have under 40%... 40%, is that fullness? No. Yes, it is fullness. It's not weak in the dark, it's like frail when hungry. Dislikes it when hungry, I don't know. But when you have the low 40% fullness, she will deal less damage, or have less hit, or both. Probably not both. My memory is so great. But if you do enjoy the Shadowblade and run her, you want to make sure that your fullness is always 40% or above. At least before you engage in battle. You can be walking around with like no fullness, but when you see an enemy and prepare to fight, make sure that your fullness is above 40%. Oh, hello, round 2 enemy. I also don't know what these are actually called. Oh look, the other ones. Look at these lovely pyramid things. The Eldritch Abomination Pyramids. They can guard increase removal. What? Decrease hits. This is the cross speed debuff. This can be really annoying, because usually when you fight Elder ones, you're fighting 4 or 5 of them. And if they start stacking this, you have like minus 100% speed in no time. It is a bleed effect, This is a stun and a brand. And this is a shield. The fun thing about the shield is you can steal it if you bring the Grim Reaper. That is good fun. What is our stun chance here? 81? Do we take that? Or do we just hit it? We'll take this. It can be important to start killing things quickly, because as you give them more turns to survive, as you leave them alive with their pathetic lives, they will do that. They'll just start spawning shields on everyone. So that's annoying. Everyone's a little hurt, but I will go ahead and try to do that. It did not end up working out. We could probably dispel this, but I think we just kind of ignore it. If you're wondering why Hiisi had minus 42% speed pop up there, it's because his innate trait was active already, which is Sloth, that decreases his speed by 10% after he uses an ability. That is a lot of bleeding. And I'm gonna have to heal through it. Which I didn't. Because Hiisi was so slow. That's okay. It works out. What was that? Oh. That looks all pretty now. All ethereal. Well, let's try not to attack that one. We'll offset the evasion by increasing our own hit. That seems like a smart thing to do. Go ahead and bring everyone up to full if we can. As close to full as possible. Its evasion has faded, so it's time to smack. Now this turn, the shield should go away. Ow. Yep, there it goes. Do we do this? How much damage is this? Yeah, sure. Because we don't get to Star Striker. We were stunned, unfortunately. We're at the point of the game where we have so many buffs and or debuffs that it can be hard to tell what's exactly on your character. Of course, at any time, you can press E to analyze the status of someone. There's this little thing that shows all of the debuffs and buffs that you possess. Very nifty. Guess I'm just killing these now. Time to slaughter. Oops. Meant to do this the other way around, but it worked out. Food, a mountain stealing. That is going to increase, oh there's the golden chest, the defense of Masamune even more. We have located the exit, and it has two enemies at it, a Wop Wop and a non-Wop Wop, would appear. Alright, we'll go in with this much health. That seems fine. Yeah, this will be fine. Now, of course, I'm a relatively firm believer that you can play MISTOVER with any group composition that you want. Although I do think a sister is pretty necessary. But sometimes, I wonder how you would get through situations like this without the Onmyouji. Because the speed increase is very, very powerful. It has saved me so many times. And it is especially good at reducing the amount of damage you're going to take by allowing you to move first, and sometimes debuffing or eradicating enemies that would otherwise hit you. So, no. At one point in time, you could try a composition where the Onmyouji was the primary healer by giving everyone vampirism, or lifesteal, depending on however you want to call it, where you healed for so much damage that you dealt. That ability, however, was changed. They can't figure out which way to go. Lol. That ability was changed and is now a bleed increase. So if you enjoy the bleeding strategy, which all on you, all credit on you if you do, then the Onmyouji and the Ronin is a good combo to possess. Of course, the Ronin and the Onmyouji both have bleeding effects themselves, so it's a thing you can do. It's not that I don't enjoy bleeds. Normally, I'm all over dot effects. I love damage over time, and heal over time. It's just my necromantic tendencies. But there are two things that make me kind of not like bleeds in MISTOVER. The first one is that bleeds occur after an action instead of before it. So an enemy, if he has 200 health and a bleed for 250, because they do stack, then the enemy will take their turn and then bleed for 250 and die. Which I kind of wish was the other way around. That way you'd be able to kill enemies before they could do things, which could be very helpful. The other thing is that most bosses are immune to bleeding, even though that was changed a little bit recently, where a number of bosses had some of their invulnerability to effects removed, reduced, removed. But not every boss was affected by that, such as the last boss. The last boss is still immune to everything, except the proper punching. If you haven't seen us kill the final boss, it was this group right here, our lovely successors, that beat down the Great One, the Elder One, in one turn. He didn't even get a single turn. That's how powerful we are. Of course, I farmed quite some time to become that powerful. And this time we had the otherworldly adventure of Faust to farm like that. Which will be nice, because I kind of just went to the Sleeping Lake repeatedly. I even turned off the Doomsday Clock and the map, thanks to the gameplay settings, which made my farming much easier. Well, that was fun. So we might end up doing that once more. But at least I'll be able to fight Faust instead of, you know, going to the same zone repeatedly. Have a little bit of variety. Variety is, after all, the spice of life. Where are you? Haha. Oh. I'm not too far in my current playthrough, but using the Witch's Laplace's Devil with the Paladin's Provoke is a good strategy. Shadowblade and Pally can do damage with Sting Hard and Holy Smet. Yes, that is a great strategy. Depending on how committed you are, I suppose, to evasion, the Shadowblade also has a Laplace's Devil-like ability. I think it's called Smoke Bomb. So if they're both level 5, the abilities, then that's an instant 70% evasion on an entire column, which is pretty good. Pretty good. But of course, the Dancing Paladin and Shadowblade is always hilarious. You'll see them constantly moving each other. It can be a little dizzying depending on what you're fighting, though. No, I wasn't able to pierce the stun resistance. I think I did that in my first playthrough. The Paladin has a weird scaling on her damage. It's not as high as any other class, like as far as her weapons are concerned. But her potential for damage is there. Guess we're using this. And the Sister and Paladin have an incredible amount of defensive synergy. We were... What am I doing here? In my hard mode playthrough, that wasn't exactly what I meant to do, but it works. In my hard mode playthrough, I even was using the Paladin as a way to help keep the Grim Reaper alive, because the Paladin would taunt, of course, but on top of taunting, she would also... She would also protect the Grim Reaper. So if someone, for some reason, didn't hit her while she was taunted, which was quite the common occurrence, then she could protect the most valuable target, which worked out pretty well. Wow. Ruun is going before Hiisi. Is that a sign to open up with a Star Striker? Yeah, sure, why not? The Elder ones don't actually deal a whole lot of damage. They're just really good at holding you up. Between their defensive abilities and their slows, and all sorts of things. I wish Ruun didn't move this way, but she did. That is a reality that we just have to accept. Boom. Beautiful crit. You would replicate one. You would do that. And you would miss. Okay. It is always important, something to keep in the back of your mind, if you are single target attacking something, it is usually best to attack something that is going next, or close to next, just in case you miss. So it's only important if you don't have a 100% hit chance. But that way, if you do miss, the enemy's speed increase doesn't make much of a difference in the turn order. Just a pro tip. Another good thing about the Paladin and the Shadow Blade dancing... Ow, that hurts so much. That hurts even more. A good thing about them dancing is that they can... We're gonna bring out Louhi here. They can move other people back into position. So it's not that far of a stretch. Speaking of Paladins, see, that attack is much lower than the other mountain stuff we've been getting. But I think that's not the good one. I think the Rongomiant is the really good one. Anyway, we're gonna leave that. Well, we're out. See ya. That little item is gonna stay there. Please move. That works. They can move other people that have been moved, one way or another, back into position. Which is always nifty. Of course, the Ronin can also do that with... What's it called? Advance? Swift advance? Something. We can check. It's a thing that moves one person forward. Also gives them hit rating, if you're low on hit rating. Which the werewolf is probably always low on hit rating. Lightning advance, that's what it's called. That one. Do you have burn up, Daragh? You do not. You have lightning advance. You don't have something that I need? Correct. You have paper cone. Beautiful. The wonder of being able to spend 3k just to sacrifice someone. My, how far we have come from the penny-pinching days of the first playthrough. And if you were curious, the werewolf does also have a taunt. The lightning kick. Inflicts is a damaging and an evade decrease buff, and you taunt yourself. You also move forward one time. So you can kind of put like the paladin, the shadowblade, and the werewolf all in one row together and just dance. Just dance for all of eternity. Follow your heart. Dance it out. Burn Up is a self buff that gives him HP increase recovery. Very helpful. Excellent synergy with Last Prayer, which is of course the heal over time effect. What is this going in over? I've used Bloodstreak like once. Sure. I might actually use Lightning Advance if we need to. It gives hit and speed now. I forgot about that addition. Oh, I don't have skill points. Whoops. Well, not whoops. Just, I forgot. You know, Elemental Collapse might actually be something we want. I've never used it before, but it is the only attack, if you don't count Paper Crow, which I don't, it's the only attack spell the Onmyouji has, but it will reduce evade, which is fine, but it will move him backwards. So if him and Ruun swap positions, which seems to happen more than I would like it to, we can move ourselves back. Unfortunately, we have no more Onmyoujis. What do you have? You do not have what I want. Okay. Did we get anything interesting here? Is that an upgrade? I think it's an upgrade. I think I said that. It is not an upgrade. Just kidding. This is less crit, a little less hit, substantially more damage. Is that worth? And the Steely. Well, I think about whether that's worth or not. Ooh. That's just such a good Steely. Losing evade kind of sucks, but I want more defense. The more defense Masamune has, of course the less damage he takes, but the more his defense exponentially scales with each muscle amulet application. So, it's a good thing for your tank to have. Of course, things still hit really hard when you're using the hard mode defaults, but that's just something you have to live with. Weaken speciality. I do like the HP. That might actually be something for us to give Louhi instead of this attack thingy. Just because it's a lot of HP. Wait, where is it? Mountain. There it is. The weakened speciality is kind of wasted on everyone but Masamune, but I don't want to give Masamune that. He needs his Steely. We are back? Good news, huh? Not really. You tell Stella what you saw on the frozen mountains. So you're saying that the Elder Ones eat humans? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the last thing I could have imagined. Does that mean they don't recognize humans as sentient beings like themselves? No. Elder beings usually don't. At the very least, it shows they are not particularly fond of us. And if that's the case, then we need to be ready to attack. Ready in case they attack. To attack. Counterattack. Gold, much gold. Well, we just made back all of our gold. And there is the 6th boss. Let's take all these quests. We've discovered that the Elder Ones use a hideout somewhere, deep beneath the frozen mountains. But to get there, you must cross a place filled with relics. They are protected by hordes of giant albinos and cavemen. Defeat them. And defeat them. That means you bring them a special type of ice from the frozen mountains. According to Katarina, there are sections of ice inside the cave that take a considerably long time to form. Through this process, the ice has preserved the history of many ages, including all the changes in the environment, microbes, and much more. That is a real-life thing. I can expand on it in a minute. That means that the older the ice, the more it can tell us. about the past. Go to the frozen mountains, and if you find any of this old ice, please bring back a couple of samples. Another form of life, this is the boss quest, was recently discovered in the frozen mountains. We suspect it's the one creating all those snowman monsters out there. It looks more like a spirit magically born from the cold than it does a living creature. So they decided to call it Lord Frost. For a long time, Lord Frost was asleep. Seemed to be a trend with these bosses. But then it woke up and has been attacking our forces ever since. Before he sent Lenny and Hans, but there's no guarantee they can handle this on their own. Go and assist them. Yeah, their track record's not the best. Not the best. Oops. I thought the polluted items were supposed to be at the top. But anyway, the fun fact, the Antarctic has a ton of treaties, international treaties about it, saying that no one can really claim it as their own. There's like, it's like divvied up to a whole bunch of different countries. It's kind of weird when you look at it. But they have research facilities, because why not, that go deep into the earth. And the farther down they go, of course, the older the ice. And that older ice tells us a lot about the environment of the time and some microbes that are there. There was an article I saw a while ago now about how there was this absolutely pristine, like, underground pool in the Arctic that was being disturbed for the first time or something. Which is kind of sad to think about. Yeah, so that's based on real life. I don't actually remember which countries have jurisdiction in the Antarctic. The only ones I know off the top of my head are, of course, the United States and Russia. Well, I say of course, I think that's the Antarctic continent, which is in the south. The southern pole. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure exactly. They call the Arctic the north one, the North Pole. I knew that because of the Arctic Circle. Which, of course, Russia has tremendous interest in. I can't blame them, they live right next to it. Like, half their country, I think, is in the Arctic Circle. So, you know, I'd also take interest in it. Oh, this is a fun bug. I think you can buy an infinite amount of these. No. Okay. You do still buy them, though, even though it just doesn't disappear. Okay. That's everything you wanted to do, right? Maybe some alchemy we could perform. Look at that. Just take it all in. 7 to 9 attack. Ooh. And we nailed it. You'll love to see it. Beautiful. I'm just gonna keep putting things in here. Like this, 6 to 8 attack. Okay, we got hit. I mean, we were bound to miss one of these. It was inevitable, but we nailed that one. Look at this attack, just scaling out of control. 3 hit. I mean, over 30 hit is pretty good. Meh, got the worst one. I'm trying not to say much, because I'm afraid that it will ruin it. Bah, humbug. I think that was all 3 fusions. So, of course, with tradition, we're going to let this cross eat the other cross. And it landed the attack. 56 to 69. That means I'm legally obligated to not buff the attack again, right? That's what that means? Maybe I should have equipped those one knuckles, because this is actually pretty bad. Oh well. The rock still hits hard. Lots of oil underneath the ground in the Arctic. That's why countries are interested. Stay woke. You're not wrong. Mountain power. Yes. Also, hi, Grizzly. Are you at work? I thought you went to bed. $13 to $15. Let's go at 13. But yeah, it was, oh, I need more power drinks. It was Norway, right? That, suddenly found a bunch of oil. They built basically their entire economic system based on the fact that they got lucky. Which isn't a bad thing, of course. It's just that there are lots of tales, of course, out there of countries finding a huge source of income, usually oil, and then wasting it away. Maybe not wasting, but, you know, using lots of it. We'll put it that way. Whereas Norway kind of, like, tucked it away for in case of emergencies. I think they still are growing that fund, although with the current hit to the global market, they might be dipping into it now. Who knows? Hard to tell. I don't know much about Norwegian politics or situations. I just need that one. As soon as you enter the frozen mountains, you run into Lenny and Hans. What are you... Oh, they're both saying hi to me. Hi! Nice to see you again. Yeah, hello. You explained that you were sent to help them. We're a tough spot. Lord Frost is surrounded by snowmen. What a shock. So it's really hard to get to him. We tried to separate them several times, but we failed. But what can you do? And when you're stuck with a partner like this one, you might as well call it quits. Nice jab. What did you say? I'm sorry that you had to get involved in all this. No helping it, the two of us would never have been able to do this alone. Now, about our strategy. It's quite simple. We will distract the snowmen, and you will find Lord Frost and destroy him. It's a lot like Hans to give us all the heavy lifting. But, here we go. There's some old ice. And the golden chest. Okay. Hey, look. It was gonna happen at least once. We lost the map. The map's gone. Well, around and around we go wherever we stop. No one knows. I have located 3 chests, not a single key. Of course. If we're lucky, we should be able to complete all 3 of these quests here. Well. Hey look, it's a round 2 enemy. Blocking the way of the enemy behind it. 3 enemies on this little path. Wow, that's a lot of HP. It's amazing what 2 levels would do to an enemy. We could try and stun this bottom group, which I guess we'll do. I'm not that afraid of the snowmen, to be perfectly honest. But I am a little afraid of the ectoplasm. At least spawning more things is usually not something you want to see. Owie. See, Hiisi's already at minus 74 speed, which is not ideal. Because of course Hiisi is the one buffing everyone else. There's not much of a point of buffing if you go last. Ow. That looks like a single target heal needs to happen. Good kill. Go ahead and buff the back row now that, or back column, now that Daragh's back here. But the increased attack also increases Louhi's heal. That was a huge heal. No. We could press this button for once. That was quite the sound effect. But what that does is it gives Daragh, or the werewolf, an increased attack, and it will slow down all enemies. It's not something you really want to be using your turn on, I don't think. Because what's the point of buffing just yourself when there are other cooperative abilities that will buff your entire team or damage the entire enemy team? But, you know, it's an option. Sometimes it's a good idea to just have lots of options, even if they don't immediately make sense. We're going to pick up our mana here, and then let Daragh finish this. Nah. We'll kill with the Ronin. Not much of a difference, really, at this point. But we definitely want... Are they both Womp Womp? I don't think so. That was my precaution against it, though. We just want Hiisi and Ruun to have plenty of mana. Double eye up. Play safe. The only thing you should be doing when you're under leveled. We actually aren't leveling as much as I thought we would, but it's okay. In one of the earlier videos, I think it was just the first one, of the series, I compared the Otherworldly Adventure Zone to the XP farm in Fire Emblem Awakening, and that has turned out to be quite false. It does remind me of it. There's not a whole lot of XP to be had there. It is primarily items. And consumables, of course. The chocolate and the donuts are quite powerful consumables. I have no mana. Gonna need to replenish that for the enemy that's coming. For the Womp Womp. Oh, they moved me back into position. Thanks. I almost said Total War earlier because it's been on my mind a lot. Because the next DLC, A World Betrayed, what dramatic, is coming out on the 19th, and I will be doing a series for it. The last Total War series I did for A Mandate of Heaven was really well liked, so if people like something, I'm going to do more of it. And we'll be following the character Lubu, one of the most popular characters from A Romance of Three Kingdoms. Lubu is probably the most powerful warrior of that time period. And he has a very... You finally moved. A very interesting style of play. Because our last main Mandate of Heaven playthrough was for the Emperor. The Emperor is all about policy and reforming his court, as you might expect. But Lubu has very little to do with politics at all. He is about fighting people. That's all he wants to do. So you get these quests and bonuses for hunting down renowned fighters, such as other faction leaders or popular characters such as the Xiaohu brothers in Cao Cao's army, and slaughtering them. You can get army, personal, or faction-wide buffs, which sounds great to me. How much does this do again? Not much. More than this, though. Good crit. We try the stun again. And same result. I don't know why I'm surprised. Fortunately, I cannot Devil's Eye from here. But we can slowly chip away at them. Do I bring up a turtle? But I've been preparing mentally and by researching to do that playthrough. Wow. And I've enjoyed streaming so much that I think after a little bit, I might stream... I need to move this bleed, don't I? That is a hefty bleed. Options. This is going to be a greedy option. But hear me out. We move the Ronin, we do this, heal to full, and then we take the bleed chunk. Worked out kind of well. But because I've enjoyed streaming so much, thanks to everyone who's shown up and said hi, I want to do... I mentioned earlier that I wanted to do a Kong Rong playthrough as well, because Kong Rong's sitting in a new start position, and Kong Rong is my favorite character, even if he is one of the more minor characters of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. And so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just stream that series. Like after, you know, once we start getting to like episode 10 or whatever of the Lu Bu series, I'll just start streaming it. That could be fun. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. What am I doing here? Mental. Definitely mental. But I don't think CA is doing a stream event like MISTOVER was. Be cool if they were, but I don't think they are. Whoosh. You find nothing. You find the golden key. The golden ticket. Charlie. His name is Charlie, right? From Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? But I said it like it was Charlie Bites My Finger. That's an old one. People even remember that one? Charlie. That hurts, Charlie. Then there's that Charlie the Unicorn thing, right? Oh man. Bringing out all the old internet existence. This is a very varied enemy team. Just greed it up. Full greed. Which means I'm getting pretty confident being here. And maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I should still be scared. Oh, last time we encountered cavemen. Ow. Cavemen with a stick. But this time, it's caveman with a spear. Clever names. Caveman with a spear? I would have really liked it if it was caveman with a pointy stick. That would have made me happy. I'll move back into position. Yes, protect the little penguin. It looks like an evil penguin, but I'm pretty sure it's a rat. Giant albino. Is that a rat? I don't know. I should heal. Play it safe. Ooh, I can stun. With pretty good chance, too. Oh yeah, I forgot that was protected. Whoops. Oh well. AoE effects. piercing their guard since... How old is MISTOVER? 2019. The only reason I knew that is because every time I do a MISTOVER video, oh, it's fleeing from me. Wow. Every time I do a MISTOVER video in the YouTube upload area, there's, if you are under the gaming tag, there is a part where you put in the title of the video game, and they have just about everything you could possibly imagine. But every time you put in MISTOVER, it says, or any game really, it says the year it came out in, and MISTOVER is 2019. It's the only reason I knew. Also, I would have forgotten by now. In fact, I'm impressed I remembered it through that. Just goes to show how much MISTOVER I've uploaded. I know that she's saying something like "paku," like a sound effect, but that is not what it sounds like. It kind of sounds like a particular four-letter word that is usually said in anger at people. I mean, to be fair, depending on your environment, the particular four-letter word I'm talking about is used for just about anything. Exclamation, distaste, hatred, excitement. Yeah, just about anything. Weird how the English language evolves, isn't it? I think my favorite description of English is 3 languages in a trench coat pretending to be one language. That makes me laugh every time I see it. There's actually a scale. I don't remember where it is or what it's called, but there's a scale of how difficult a language is, created by some thing. Our first attack over 1,000. Nice. And the most challenging language to learn, I think it is 5 stars. And I think the toughest is Finnish and Chinese. I know Finnish is 5 stars. I can't remember if Chinese was 5 or not. And of course English is up there as well. But that's not because English is challenging, like grammatically. It's because English just has so many tricks and exceptions to its own grammatical rules. Like, I imagine it would be very challenging for someone whose main tongue isn't English to discern between all the yours and theirs and the past tenses that are the same as regular tenses, like read and read, led and lead. I don't envy the people learning English. Like, why have grammatical rules if you're just not gonna follow them ever? General rules of thumb, though. I before E except after C. Is C special or something? Don't know. Maybe. That reminds me of a joke I heard a lot when Sea of Thieves came out. Which, I don't know if people still play that game. But, there's a joke that was older that what was a pirate's favorite letter? And it used to be R. Because, you know, Yahar mateys. So funny, I know. But when Sea of Thieves came out, the joke was everyone would bait you into saying R, but it was actually C. Because, you know, the C. I know. It's silly. I probably wouldn't be surprised if that existed long before Sea of Thieves. It's just Sea of Thieves is when I started hearing it. I have no idea how good that game is doing. I just had no desire to play it. I don't particularly desire to play online games much. The extent of it is World of Warcraft. That's it. Or whatever MMO I'm playing at the time. It's been World of Warcraft for the majority of its existence. 2004, I think. So since then, it's primarily been that. But I think on the note of I actually got an email today, yesterday, recently, that was from Crowfall. I know, that's a name that's been out there for a while. Crowfall is a PvP MMO that's in the works still. And it's different in that it has like 2 phases to it. And it's like Game of Thronesy, but your characters don't actually level. They have a different form of progression. Which, okay, an interesting thought. And you battle for these different houses and their philosophies or whatever against other players. But you also have your own kingdom that you set up and try to strengthen and make as pretty as you want, that other people can follow you in, come under your leadership. And it is, that is, actually we can use that. Yes. Time for some cheese. Get over here. Come to me. Dun, 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 dun. Of course it is Elder Ones. Low-level Elder Ones, though. But anyway, because I was thinking, Crowfall is largely a PvP MMO, which are not horribly popular these days. But I was thinking about one of my favorite MMOs that had a ton of potential. And that was Warhammer Online, which I think is cursed. I'm pretty sure that IP is cursed, because someone tried to make an MMO for Warhammer forever ago, like 1990s. But the project fell through, and then when 1 HP, of course, when Mythic Studios picked up the title, they had a ton of trouble, and they ended up also falling through. Of course, the game was released, but it was released with some substantial problems. Of course, you're guarding. Including, but not limited to, crashing servers, areas that would just collapse, and 1/3 of the capital cities that would be available. Because for each race, they had like different zones that were competing against someone else. So the Dark Elves were fighting the High Elves. Makes sense. But each of them were supposed to have their own capital. But when the game launched, there was only the human capital, Altdorf, and the Chaos capital, which I don't remember what it's called. I don't think it had a name. It was kind of like the Labyrinthine City or something. It wasn't called that, but something like that. And we were told and promised, sound familiar, that the cities would eventually come in. And people were fine with that because we could still do the content. The content was still there. There was constant fighting in the zones between... They were like split up into like 1, 10, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, something like that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that with Hiisi. Got so distracted. This should be fine. But they were split up like that. And there was constant fighting for control over the zones, because one faction could control the zone if they captured all the castles or whatever. But anyway, enough of the MMO mumbling. I know I never finished that thought, but PvP MMOs usually haven't gone horribly well. Like, except for Dark Age of Camelot and that other one that are old did well. But anyway, here we go. The Lord Frost. Enough of the mumbling and rumbling. Stella was right. It is kind of like a spirit of frosts. It is 2 levels higher than us. It can reduce HP recovery, reduce speed on a row, and 1 enemy evade. Okay. This is a bleed and gives 1 enemy speed decrease. This is immobilize, which I don't really care about. Actually, if you could immobilize Ruun, that'd be great. Negative freeze, reduces attack, stuns, and bleeds. Frost Circle, stun, and move 1 enemy forward and brand. That's a lot of things. And, of course, summon ads. As you do. Alright, here we go. That was a lot of damage. I guess we're just gonna increase attack. Just lean into it. Oh, Ruun didn't have the buff. A little bit prematurely here. Oh, look at that crit. Bah, it was guarding. I wanted to get rid of the albino before it does this. I don't need more bleeding. As long as... Wait, what are you... I didn't look. So you can be weakened now, but you're immune to everything else. Okay. We could start popping out the last prayers, but we'll wait. I could have used his protection, which may have been a good idea. Actually, it would have been a great idea. Ooh. Another crit near 1300. Let's full heal, shall we? She deals so much damage. I can't move Ruun back into position. I have some bleeds to remove. By some, I mean 1. More slows, that's okay. Oof. How big is that? I have so many effects that I can't even see the bleed. I just know that he's bleeding. And that it's hefty. Well, let's Frostbind Lord Frost. That seemed like a good idea. Oh, it was a 500 bleed is what it was. Okay. What if we... Protection here. The healing reduction is kind of really bad. It is a hefty healing reduction. This will be absorbed. That would have been a huge hit to have too. Our buffs are falling off. Ooh. Good thing Sable Cloud is coming. That would be annoying to remove that many bleeds. Bloodthirsty Sword. Bring it home, Masamune. Ugh. After you deal him the fatal blow, Lord Frost literally evaporates. Well, hello, hello, good old Heinrich. The voice sounds familiar. You turn around and see Heinrich. I've been waiting for this exact moment. I've been waiting for you to grow strong enough. Finally, it's time to reveal the mystery to you. Your lives, no, the fate of all humanity depends on this. If you are ready to face your fate, come and find me. If you are not, then you better go back where you came from. I shall await your decision. Look at that smile. It's beautiful, isn't it? As soon as he finishes speaking, Heinrich vanishes into thin air. That's how he got past the hive mind. And hello, weapons. Alright. We did it. Boss 2 levels higher than us. Taken down. Easy peasy. Never scared for moments. Okay, scared for a brief moment. We need to go to the golden chest. There's only one way we're getting there. Because we are sealed off from this area. And if you guessed that it was with our lovely whimsical mage, you guessed correctly. Well, not it. Take 2. Not it. Take 3. Well. We're just not going to go over there, I guess. There we go. We're here. 5 turns. Or 5 times. We've had worse. Ooh, mists. Instantly worth. Even though these are not that good, I don't think. Oh, what am I talking about? It's the power! Of course it's good. That was more than worth. Even if I have to go fighting things again. It's worth. Thankfully. Oh, right into the exit. Okay, let's go. Peace. So worth. Level 14 for everyone. A round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We did it. Now, the first thing we need to do is evaluate a power. Hello, we're back. We have 13. Okay, evaluate this as well. Weaken speciality and guard. Meh. Please don't be crit. Oh, it's HP. Well, let's not wait, shall we? Let's not waste any time. Let us create the most powerful weapon to have ever existed. Here we go. 50-50. The gamble. We failed. We did not land it. We did not land it again. It's still really good, but it could have been so much better. I mean, hit's always nice, but I mean, that's why we have Hiisi around. This is fine. Less fine. We should probably try and find the 3 to 4s that can give 2 hit, just in case we swing and a miss. 34 to 38 is still substantially strong. Alright, let's go equip that. Over this one. Beautiful. And then for Daragh, we have this. Here you go. It has far less crit and a little bit less hit, but it's worth it. And we'll give him that. Do we still keep this Divine Steely? I kind of think so. We don't have any really other good accessories. But as is tradition, we're going to let the new weapon consume the old weapon. Meh, we would get the worst one. Let's roll again. I'm cursed. You're cursed, Daragh. I'm sorry I had to tell you this way. Last one. We did it. Alright. We have a lot of talking to do. You heard what happened. Wait, what? Thanks to your efforts, giant albinos and frozen snowmen will be controlled. I was able to find plenty. So the old ice formed around the same time the Elder Ones arrived at the frozen mountains. I wonder what kind of things they did back then. What exactly would an Eldritch Abomination Pyramid do? I don't know. Thank you, lots of money. We're back over 100k. And here's a snow tyrant. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't defeated, Stella. You tell Stella what happened in the frozen mountains. At last, Heinrich has appeared. We're getting closer to the truth. Perhaps we'll find out why he left us and how he can save the world. We have no other option but to meet him. True. Tracking down Heinrich. The time has come. We must go to Duke Heinrich and find his story. It's unclear why he left or where he is, but he appears to have no malicious intent. Indeed. 298 out of 300. Many. Did I not equip that? Hold the phone. What? Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm so bad. I did it with Ruun, right? Yeah, I equipped this. We didn't get anything else that was worth it. You know, if we kept missing on that power, we could have just started putting HP into it, which is a funny thought. Look at this defensive item. Oh, it's so good. You're wearing yours? Good. This didn't mess up that much. Probably deserve something other than this. My good Louhi. But what? I don't know. There's not much else for her. We could pick up this Mountain Stunning. Is that worth? Probably not. Probably not worth. Alright. A Mountain Kusanagi and a Mountain Idol Garb. What is... Actually, what is Hiisi wearing? Still a pretty good piece, but could be better. It had 301 health. That's usually a good determinant of how good it is. This could be a slight upgrade. Okay. Whoa, hold the phone. I just saw what level this was. Are we ready for that? For level 14? Being frisky is all we know. Ooh, this position allows even more things. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. This used to be a group-wide like vampiric buff or lifesteal buff. Now it increases bleed damage. Meh. And I'm not sure there are many instances in which the sister would be behind the Onmyouji. I guess if you're using him in the middle and trying to enable Paper Crow, Paper Koi, Elemental Devastation sort of thing. That makes sense. Actually, you know what? We've been going for a long time. 2 hours and 49 minutes. That's a long time. So we couldn't knock out the Frozen Mountains today, unfortunately. But we only have 2 quests left, I think. I think we go find Heinrich, and then we get access to fight the Elder Emperor, which is the next boss. Slight spoiler alert. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish it off today with an expedition to Dr. Faust. You know what I'm going to say, right? What is a DLC stream event without the DLC? So let's go say hi, and then we'll call it a day, because I need to get up and move around. The good news, though, I took more seeds than I needed to. Hold the phone. I took these seeds because I thought they were donuts. Yep, I need a break. I got my new chair. I talked about it briefly somewhere else. One of the other episodes. But I was able to order my new chair, courtesy of my grandfather. Great man. A great handyman. Who's actually in Texas right now. Enjoying his time off. At least I hope he is. So thanks, Gramps. Where are we going? Guess down and around. Down and around. Around town. SpongeBob reference. I think. There are a lot of things that are probably a SpongeBob reference. I haven't seen it in so very long. At one point in time, one of my friends was watching all of the new SpongeBob seasons. I don't know why, but he was. I guess they're still pretty good, from what I've read on Twitter before. My sister used to be obsessed with SpongeBob. So much so that she has a SpongeBob... What are those things called? The little plates you put around the light switches? She has one of those in her room still. I mean, she doesn't live here anymore, but it's still in her room. Mostly because taking it away would require effort. Which is unnecessary for a room that has become a storage closet. A walk-in storage closet. That's funny. I never thought of her room that way, but that's what it is right now. We have 3 mimics on the screen. 4 mimics on the screen. Okay. Well, at least I'm prepared. Swapping up Louhi and Hiisi's position threw me off a little bit, but I did it because there are more glowy lights this way. So I don't know if that's a good way to make your decisions, but it's certainly a way to do it. Oh no, I'm branded. Whatever shall I do? Spoiler alert, I'm not that concerned. That was an 850 Frostbind. I would say we're getting pretty strong. We can definitely take on the Elder Emperor. Whoa, screen kind of froze there for a second. The game's also telling me I've been playing too long. I'm still live, so even though it froze, nothing bad happens. More mix. The door's also here as well. Although I do remember that the Elder Emperor encounter is actually more challenging, I found, than the last boss encounter. Don't ask me how that works, but it was. If I were to give you a real answer, or at least try to find one, I think it would be because I was very overleveled for the Elder one, the final boss, and not so much for the Elder Emperor. Probably underleveled for him, and it was a fight. Because he cheats. So if you're still hanging around, you have that to look forward to next time. A cheating boss. How dare they? In one of my many rants, of which most of my series basically are, I was thinking about classes that could be added to MISTOVER, and one of them was a Chronomancer, which is a class idea that's not utilized very often. I'd love to see more of them, but I was thinking one of their cooperative abilities could be what the Elder Emperor does. And I believe the Elder One does it as well. Where they basically take an extra turn. An extra move during the turn. I think that's how you would describe it. It is very rude, but very powerful. And I think it would be cool if players could also do that. I won't go into all the details, of course. But if you also have ideas for characters, classes that could be added, I'd love to hear them. I always like coming up with weird stuff like that. My other idea was to add another healer, because I think one is not enough. And my healer idea was to add something similar to some of the healers from Warhammer Online, bringing that back a little bit. Because there's one healer for each faction. The Goblin Shaman and the High Elf Archmage. That's... ooh. Not better than what we have. That, as they damage people, they'd get like this meter buildup that would increase the potency of their next heal. And as they healed people, they'd get this meter buildup that increased the potency of their next damaging ability. So there's a really popular strategy where you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, spamming the instant cast heal over time to everyone you could reach. And then the next move you used was a channeled ability. There was a damaging attack on one target. So the entire channel would have that bonus damage that you got from running around like a chicken with your head cut off, healing everyone. I played a shaman. I knew what was up. And I enjoyed it so. Of course, I'm not going to talk about the weird bit that the Warhammer greenskins are actually living fungi. But you know, this is something to consider. Well, we found the door and the boss, but we're going to keep exploring. Because I would like to find more weapons and armor. These are both mimic flowers. I wonder who had that idea. Just be like, we have mimic chests. So why don't we make mimic flowers? Really punish the people that don't feel like bringing seeds ever. Which was kind of me. I basically didn't bring seeds on any of the smaller maps. Like I would for large and medium. Maybe just large at one point in time. But I just kind of thought seeds were a waste of time. I've honestly learned otherwise, but, you know. If you are carrying seeds, that is one less inventory space for you to be carrying items. The more you know. I can't tell if there's an item up here in this one piece of Fog of War. There's not. Are these both fake? Yep. Mean. I bet one of the ones over here are real. It does not look like it. Alright. Let me use my seed. We have one more chest. Oh, it's right here. So somewhere in the world there's one more chest. Not the best items this time around, but that happens. We're gonna go this way. Here we go. Boss fights. I'm gonna have to kill one enemy though. Unfortunately. Go ahead and muscle. I could have mentaled to get ahead of the Executioner, but it's the torch that I want to get ahead of. I mean, I don't have to, I can just kill him with this. Well, I didn't even say what I was going to say. And he still did it. I was going to say that we could ignore the Executioner as long as he didn't move the Ronin or the Witch out of position. What could this be? Oh, I know what that is. This is the Chibi Faust, and it moves forward, and then it goes boom, and performs an insta-kill. So, we're gonna kill that. I don't want any of those insta-kills. He's going first, so let's oh. I thought that was on the entire party. That would make it a far better ability. But, no. That's fine. Ruun will just block the next attack. She is our most vulnerable, so I'm kind of okay with it. Smack. We're gonna end up seeing... Well, we could actually just finish this. Finish him! But I think I will let him do the attack, because we are in a pretty good position. I don't need to immediately kill him. Get our Yoki back. Although I don't think I like it. I'm baiting him to do something dangerous. What could this be? Poison. Reduces healing. Okay. I kind of thought it was going to be a bleed effect to everyone, but some healing reduction's okay. Get a paper turtles and moved back into position. I need to upgrade Ego Strength so I can hit more people. Still might kill it? No. Alright, Faust. Do your worst. Last time, eeny meeny miny mo catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mother said to pick the very best one, and you are not it. There was the werewolf. Look at that face. That is quite the face. I don't know how well you can see it, but there it is. He's displeased, to say the least. So it's only proper that we give him the kill. The music ended on a good note, too. Ooh. Those are big grimoires. Well, I have to get rid of this enemy. That's fine. We still have a lot of our buffs. See? It's fine. Move her back. Oh, she dodged it. Also fine. Strike. And start rolling. Let's get back into position. I don't think the other enemy came though, so we are free to go. Let's just check real quick to see if this grimoire is better. Oh, hi Sherlock. The Elder Ones have strong psychic powers, you don't say. They evolved using a method called rupture. This refers to the practice of severing all ties with others. They broke their connections with everyone and focused solely on their own development. This allowed them to develop an extremely powerful sense of self and psychic abilities. But as they cut off all ties with the outside world, they became unable to understand even their own kin. So when the flying blobs invaded their dimension, they didn't stand a chance and fell into decline. Huh, I didn't know that. It's good to know. I'm not sure how focusing entirely on evolution brings you to a flying abomination pyramid. But hey, you do you. These are good grimoires, but they don't even come close to comparing to this one. Okay. That's what I thought, but it was good to double check. And that's worse. And this is worse. Okay. Good. Well, good to know. Not necessarily good. But thank you all for watching. It has been quite the stream. Got a lot done, but we still have a lot to do. We have 2 bosses. No, yeah. 2 bosses left to fight. That doesn't include the remaining encounters with Dr. Faust. And of course, we are coming ever closer to the ending. The true ending of MISTOVER, because we are, of course, in round 2. So next time, look forward to fighting the cheating Elder Emperor and more incursions into the otherworldly adventure before taking on the Elder One himself. I hope you look forward to it. And thank you for watching, stopping by the stream if you did. Thank you for watching the VOD. Thank you for being you and for sharing your time with me. Bye-bye.